Brian Rosas, and today I'll be talking about pro-choice against pro-life and abortion. We will be arguing for pro-choice. Do you guys know Frida Kahlo? Well, on September 17th of 1925, she was in a horrible accident. This accident was caused by a train crash. During this crash, an iron hand drill impelled her through her pelvis and had major complications to her uterus. Pro-choice is morally ethical, and we are talking about this because we want to spread awareness and the fact that pro-choice should be a part of the portfolio of pregnancy rights. I think I am extremely credible in this because, well, maybe not extremely, but I am credible in this because I have read educational articles that were established by credible authors, which I have cited in this speech. Today we'll talk about Frida Kahlo and endometriosis. These are altercations that impede a woman from having a successful birth or a birth without harmful endings. We'll also go to talk about how a woman has her body and her choices. Third of all, we'll talk about how safe abortions really are. Then we'll go to talk about how people think that babies have rights, which they do, but if the woman is protecting herself by doing this, it is not a bad thing, and I will explain later. Because technology has evolved so much through the decades, doctors were able to do research based on the medical journals conducted by Kahlo's doctors that she had Asherman syndrome. Asherman syndrome is when a scar tissue lines the endometrium or uterus. Now, we will start by talking about some altercations that might impede someone from having birth. According to ScienceDaily.com, Frida Kahlo had scars. The scar's formation in her uterus cavity is theorized to have played a role in the continuing miscarriages and pregnancy failures that Kahlo experienced. So, by having the crash, it impeded her to have babies naturally, which, if she had a baby, it would have affected her. Now we'll talk about endometriosis, another altercation that could impede someone from having a baby right. Endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue that normally lines the uterus, called the endometrium, grows outside of the uterine cavity. According to Healthline.com, one study found that while 15 to 20% of fertile couples attempting to become pregnant will be successful each month, that number drops to 2 to 10% for couples affected by endometriosis. I feel like that's huge. After hearing about Frida Kahlo, I hope it moves you to the right direction, where we will now shift to impacts. We will now shift to impacts that has on women's rights to their own body. According to bbc.co.uk, women have moral rights to decide what to do with their bodies. The right to abortion is vital for the gender equality, and the right to abortion is vital for an individual woman to achieve their full potential. Women have a moral right to decide what to do with their bodies. Yes, this is why I feel like abortion should be a choice, because it's their right to their own bodies. The right to abortion is vital for an individual woman to achieve their full potential. If they don't have the right to choose whether what they want to do with their body is that having the woman's full potential. Another thing, according to BBC, banning abortion puts women at risk by forcing them to use illegal abortionists, which can potentially hurt them more than doing it safely. This is a great transition to my next point, where abortions are safe. Each year, according to the Rewrite.News, each year the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, releases statistics that abortion in almost all 50 states. And the data clearly shows that complications from abortion are minimal. Of the 652,639 abortions reported to CDC for 2014, which is the last year that they had data for, only 6 women were reported had fatal outcomes to the procedure. That is 6 out of 650,000. Abortions do not cause physical or mental health. This is another thing found in Rewrite.news. Abortion's lack of long-term health effects is not just limited to mental health. People can and remain physically healthy after having an abortion. Some people may say babies have rights, and yes, they do. According to www.frc.org, the zygote is composed of DNA and other human molecules, so it's undeniably human, and not some other species, which is correct. I don't think that's wrong. But according to this website, the zygote is made up of genetic material to itself, something that is different to its mother, which disproves the fact that the mom is doing something to her body. I disagree. I believe that this is wrong because if we are going to talk about the zygote being and having its own persona, I can say that in that case, where the mother is being threatened by death, meaning if having the baby will cause her death or fatal outcomes, she is ethically only protecting herself by not having the baby. In conclusion, we can see why pro-choice is the way to go because of the reasons that I have provided. What happened to Frida Kahlo and her altercations, endometriosis, the right for the woman to have her choice of her body, how abortions are safe, and we saw how some people thought that the baby having rights was the best outcome, but we countered it with a woman protecting herself. I just want us as a community to do something. We can do a lot to help these women who just can't have the babies. And for women who don't yet have one to have the ability to choose if they can't afford to have it. In that note, something we can do to support is just start a petition to have all 50 states to allow abortion, which is giving the right to choose. Thank you.